guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverly and it is really nice to see you today. So I saw on the news that we're about to be hit with cold weather. It's been quite mild so far this winter, which has been great. Winter and autumn are like my perfect times when it's just, you know, chilly but not cold. And I also saw that some people had been killed by snow in Europe, and I was like, oh, it's coming, the winter is coming. And I suffer with chronic illnesses, as you know, and I know a lot of people who watch my channel do as well. So I just wanted to do a little video with some tips and tricks to stay warm, how I keep warm. It's incredibly important when you have chronic illnesses. They give you chronic fatigue, that sort of thing, a lot of pain. These illnesses really make winter difficult, especially if you've got things like arthritis and stuff like that, joint disorders. Your body will get stiff and difficult to move around, and you just want to curl up in bed and watch TV if you're anything like me. But over the years of dealing with winter time and chronic illness, I've found a few little tips and tricks that I hope will help you guys, especially if you're newly diagnosed or you're just starting to find that you're getting ill with things. It's really good to stay warm. It's really important. So the first tip I have is, if you can afford it, because I know that a lot of people are struggling with the benefit system at the moment, so if you can afford it, try and put your heating on or your fire on if you get cold. Now, I'm not saying leave it on all day, because who can afford that? But I am saying if you're getting really cold, just put it on for an hour, half an hour, just to keep the room, the house warmer, is a really good idea. We have a button on our heating where you can just push it and it comes on for an hour, which is really great, because if I start messing with the timings and stuff, it would never be the same again. I'm not good at things like that. But I just press that button if I get really cold. We've also got animals. You can probably hear our birds in the background, and we have a small dog. So it's really important to keep those animals warm. So if I notice my birds are like puffing up and getting big, or the dog's cuddled up to me, I will stick that on for an hour, and it just warms the house through a little bit. And we do try and put the heating on. It's on a timer to come on first thing in the morning, just for a couple of hours, just to warm it up, because the house quickly gets cold this time of year. Even if you've got insulation or new houses that've got double glazing and all that kind of thing, they can get cold fast. So just be aware of that. If I remember rightly, we got given like a thermometer thing from, I think it was from my doctors actually. Ask around. But it was like a thermometer that stuck to our fridge on the outside, and it will tell you if it's too hot, too cold, or just right. Keep an eye on things like that. If you can get hold of something like that, it's incredibly useful, especially if, like me, you don't have a lot of feeling in your body and you can't really tell if you're too hot or too cold, or you have trouble regulating your body temperature. It's really handy to have things like that to just remind you, oh, it's getting a bit too cold, I'm just going to flip the heat on for a little bit. Next thing is thermal underwear. I am wearing a thermal vest right now as we speak, and I even have some that have got long sleeves. The ones I've seen are in black and in white, and like, you can't tell I'm wearing a vest underneath this, but it is just giving me that extra layer of warmth that's making all the difference today. You can also get them in like a leggings as well, to wear underneath trousers, which are a really great idea if you're going outside and it's windy and wet. You want that extra, as many layers as you can get. Layering up your clothes will make all the difference. So quite often I'll wear a dress with a long sleeve thing underneath, maybe even a jumper underneath that. So it'll be thermal vest, jumper, dress, cardigan, all those little layers, you trap a layer of warm air in between the layers, and it just keeps you so much warmer. So definitely look out for things like that. If you are a vintage dresser like me, shawls are great. Shawls are so comfy and warm. You can get them on Etsy. I think you can probably get them on Amazon as well and places like that relatively cheaply. Or if you're a knitter, knit one or a crochet one, or ask a friend. But they are really cosy, and it's really nice to cuddle up when you're watching television. The next thing I would say is warm meals. I buy these soups from Asda, and they do them in the fresh section. They're really healthy. I used to make my own soups, but I'm not able to do that at the moment. My fatigue just will not allow it. So these are a good, like, I will put a picture up here of the sort of soups I'm talking about. Mostly they come in like Store's Own brand. If you like the tinned variety, or you need to buy in bulk because you don't get out very much, try and look through the ingredients and find ones that are really healthy, low in salt and sugar and all of that, and just try and find really healthy warm meals. Another great thing to invest in is a slow cooker. A slow cooker is really great because you can just put all the ingredients in the slow cooker for a stew or a chilli or a soup even, and just leave it simmering away all day, and then by the evening you've got a lovely hot meal that then you could make like 3 times as much, and then you've got 3 meals worth, and you can freeze it. Definitely look into things like this. Have hot porridge for breakfast, have soup for lunch, and a homemade stew for dinner. You can do it relatively cheaply. I have some really good recipes on my Pinterest. I will leave a link to my Pinterest down below. So if you're looking for some ideas for cheap, economical meals to make, I got you covered. Next thing would be a heated blanket. This blanket is so soft. I can't even, can you tell by looking at it? It's so soft. But it's got, can you see these here? Can you even see that? It's got wires through it, and you plug it in, and you can put it on like low, medium and high. This on its own is warm, but when I'm really chilly, I put it on low and it just warms me through. I think the one I've got, I will leave a link, an affiliate link down below. It's not sponsored or anything, but it's just an affiliate link to this blanket because I've bought it and I know that it's good. So I will definitely leave a link to it down below. But you can get them in places like Dunelm and I suppose places like Target and stuff. We don't have Target in the UK, but if you're in America, I'm sure they do stuff like this. You can also put it on top of your bed. And put it on high, and it'll heat your bed through, and then it stays warm for like 3 hours, so it should keep you warm through the night. So it's just a really good way of keeping you warm, and it's really versatile. You can use it on the bed, you can use it as just the blanket, you can use it with the heating element. Really good value for money. Definitely something I would recommend. And then the last little tip I've got is a hot water bottle. Now, hot water bottles may sound crazy, but if you're in pain, warmth on an area is really nice. They're relatively cheap. You can get them for like £5 in Boots and places like that. And they come in all funky designs and covers and colours and all sorts of wacky cool stuff. I love a hot water bottle, and I discovered through Christina Doherty a few months ago that they do long hot water bottles that are like really long and thin, and I am saving up to get one because I think that sort of thing would be great to keep down the side of you in bed, along your back if you're curled up on your side and you're in pain. You could put it around your shoulders if you've got neck ache. It just is something that I definitely want to get very soon. And it's things like this, if you look around, you will definitely find there's so many different ways of keeping warm, and they don't have to cost the earth. Definitely, if you're on a budget, if you are struggling at the moment, a normal hot water bottle will make all the difference. Just sitting there with your feet on a hot water, because I always say if your feet are warm, the rest of you is warm. I've always believed that. So I always wear socks, even if it's really hot. Sometimes I wear 2 or 3 pairs, because I'm like that. But pile on the socks, put your feet on the hot water bottle, and don't stand on it. I mean, sit down and rest your feet on it, and it will make all the difference in the world. And I think it's really important that we talk about things like this, the tips and tricks that we have to stay warm, because there will be things that you do that you're looking at me going, why don't you do this, or why don't you use that, or why don't you try that? So definitely let me know down in the comments if you have any problems like I've been talking about, and you have any like other ideas of ways to keep warm. I mean, I don't go out very much, so these are all things that I can use in my home. But when I go out, I mean, I don't. If it's really cold, I just don't go out, especially if there's like snow and ice on the floor, because just forget it. If you've got mobility issues, it's not worth it. And the last thing I definitely want to just say is look after the people around you. If you know there's a woman down the road who can't get out and you haven't seen her in a few days, go and just knock on the door, check on your neighbours. Make sure they've got the basics in for a cold snap. If it snows, make sure that disabled family has all the shopping that they'll need, especially if you're going shopping anyway. It would save somebody with mobility issues having to go shopping. We're lucky here in the UK that we can order online and we can get our shopping delivered to our houses. That's something they don't do in America. You need to catch up, America, you really do. But keep an eye out on people. Just make sure people have got everything they need. It's going to get cold. Global warming has shifted all our seasons around. Things are not how I mean, we've already got some plants coming up that should be coming up in spring, and I'm like, what is going on? So just be aware of the fact that a cold snap can come at any time, and it can really stop people being able to get out and get the shopping they need and get the things they need. Make sure people are warm enough, invite them round for dinner, be nice. Let's get back to that community spirit that we used to have. I miss, you know, I miss that. I never had that community spirit, you know. It was kind of gone by the time I was growing up. And that's a shame. I think it's important that we get back to that. So look out for people around you. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you some ideas. I hope that you will be well this winter time. Definitely make sure that you will be careful and just be prepared. Keep a loaf of bread in the freezer. Keep some UHT milk in the fridge, in the cupboard. Just plan ahead because it's going to get cold, and I really hope that these tips and tricks will help you guys. Don't forget, if you like this video, to give it a good old thumbs up, and make sure you go down there, right down there, keep going, that's it, the subscribe button. Go and click on that subscribe button and ring that little bell so you always know when I upload and you don't miss any more content from me, because that would be such a shame, wouldn't it? How would you cope? Guys, I hope you have an amazing week. Honestly, just make it the best it can be. Try your hardest to smile every day and brighten up somebody else's life as you go. I love you all. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you on Friday. Bye.